You're tuning in to Stellar Cycles, hosted by Alina Souza
and Eva Brown. Join us weekly as we delve into the science, spirituality, and cultural significance of our feminine cycles.
Get ready to align with your natural rhythms, take charge of your patterns, and embrace a holistic approach to feminine wellness.
All systems go.
All systems are go. Hi guys! Welcome back to another episode of Stellar Cycles. This will be our luteal episode, all about getting to know the second half of your cycle, also known as the luteal phase. Our goal for this episode is to wrap up our phasic series, and now that we've covered everything that happens up until ovulation, starting with the menstrual phase, your period, leading into your follicular phase, the growing of your egg, and then most recently we talked about the ovulatory phase when your egg gets released and you're really enjoying all of the benefits of being a woman. Now let's talk about the time period between that egg release and the start of the next period. So this phase, it's a little longer. It's a little lower energy. It's characterized by kind of a lack of motivation, productivity. So it's important to know that this is a time to slow down and give your body a little extra love. So Eva, I know you're going to be perfect for talking about this and giving us some updates because you are in what phase?
Luteal.
Right. So how has that been?
First of all, thank you for that wonderful introduction. You painted such a lovely picture of our phases. I love that this is our final one. Our year we've landed.
At least our final introductory ones. We're always going to be building on this as we're finding out more information.
Oh yeah, and there's some we've talked already.
Yeah, we can't even
just go ham on just diet alone, which we will. I mean,
that's our next series.
Exactly. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Great.
Our next series is the cyclical eating, so eating for your hormones. But yeah, getting back to your updates.
Can't wait. That one. Yeah. Let's talk about food. So I was originally thinking to talk about what I was eating over the luteal phase. As you guys know, I was in LA, been batch recording these episodes, so now I'm able to give you a little bit more of the juice from this trip. And I was there for about 4 days, and honestly, I have been pushing my limits to the max over the past few months with businesses, life, family, personal, so much.
You really have been working really, really hard, for out of the time that I've known you. You've been in a lot relax mode through COVID, but in the past year, I've never seen you with such a stacked schedule.
Seriously, I'm going double time these days, packing appointments and even just pointing to myself too. I have to be more mindful about how I have been meditating, journaling. Even in LA, normally I would just be with my friend. I went there to introduce her to another good friend of mine, and he has a very successful business. Shout out Andy. He's a contractor, and he's actually a land developer. And Marisol started her solar company, so I introduced them together so they could do business. And this related back to the luteal phase because I was realizing that I was figuring out how I could maximize my efforts without doing the work. Does that hit home for you?
Yeah, I think it goes back to making the distinction between working and earning money, right? You can earn money but not be toiling for it. Does that make sense?
Exactly. There's an easier way to do things. How can everyone win, right? God wants us all just to connect, and by putting them together and making the introduction, I'm in my luteal phase. I didn't have to lead the conversation or be the funny one.
Mm-hmm.
It was really about my two long-term friends hitting it off and having a great time. And that's when you work with the phases, how you can enhance your life in that way. Now, I hit a home run on the social side of my luteal phase, but didn't do so great on the nutritional side. Looking back, I actually did not eat anything that I was supposed to for this phase.
It's harder too when you're traveling because, when you're at home, you're prepared, you have all the things that you need, or, you have the little places around you where you're buying your food that you're used to, getting those certain things during that phase. But when you're traveling, it can be a little harder to have all of those things on deck. And plus, you might go to a very specific restaurant, like a seafood restaurant, and that's not very luteal foods.
And you're going to indulge and connect, be with your friends. And I think what's important is it's just eating something that is healthy, like trying to have balance as well. So, and giving yourself like grace to not be perfect. You don't want to stress yourself out that you're not following the right thing.
Because
Just
that
let it
can be
go.
really unhealthy too.
Absolutely. So those are my big takeaways from the LA trip. And then I did prioritize self-care because, as you all know, I'm going through an expansive period. I'm going through a lot. So I'm making sure to prioritize meditating when I was there, journaling. I would literally wake up and just go hang out in the bathroom. I mean, and also the place we stayed at, it was beautiful. She has like an amazing like apartment, great view. It was just really comfortable. And of course, anytime I'm with my family, it feels like really good to be with the kids. So yeah, I would literally just leave the room, hide in the bathroom because I didn't want to wake anyone. Our sleep is sacred, especially a child's.
You know, I'm really impressed that you managed to do that because I find that that's the hardest thing for me to maintain out of my routine when I'm traveling or visiting family or visiting loved ones or even on a weekend or doing something with friends because I want to get like every moment that you're awake, someone's with you or, so it's really tough for me to break away and take some alone time. So I usually try to do it right when I wake up before I even like step outside because it's so hard. So
Yeah.
props to you, honestly, for managing to do that while you were traveling, while you were also in a house with a kid, and like family and different energy level than you're used to.
I mean, they make it so easy. We all slept in and really still indulge in my luteal phase.
They synced up to you?
Yes, yeah, we were all on flow together. And other things, I think that's enough for today, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's
all
go
right.
into yours.
For me, I've been trying to implement more oral health things into my life because I saw somewhere online on health Twitter, wherever it is that plagues us now with health and wellness things, everything that we're doing wrong every day. Apparently you're not supposed to drink anything right when you wake up before brushing your teeth first or scraping your tongue because you're swallowing all the bacteria and all the things that your body's like been eliminating. So I'm gonna try that for myself. I'm gonna do some oil pulling, get coconut oil in there, brush my teeth, scrape my tongue, and then I'm gonna start with my morning broth. How I've been doing I'm on my menstrual phase. Menstrual food is my favorite food. This is my favorite meals. For real, you guys, I could eat this all month, but I can't because I do need all the other nutrients in my other phases. But like I said, have been starting off my mornings by heating up some broth. I get it in a box. It's very good, grass-fed and grass-finished bones. So that's helping out my collagen, helping out my skin. Drier times, right? Skin is drying out during the menstrual phase. So my morning broth has really been helping me. I also do a breakfast smoothie, which is just dark berries, blueberries, dark grapes. I pour beet juice in there. So good. Add some other things, flaxseed, coconut oil, sea moss, all the nutrients there first thing in the morning.
Confirm all that. Tastes so good.
And then, of course, my absolute favorite bowl of all time. I always make it on my menstrual week, and it's sweet potato, kale, and those oyster mushrooms sauteed. Super freaking good.
You have this down.
I have it down so good. And of course, some beef for dinner with some dark rice. So everything is on the darker side because it's going to contain a lot more iron and like replenish my blood and stuff like that.
I wanted to ask you questions during all of this. Do you want to tell them where you bought your bone broth, how much it was, how many cups?
Yeah, I get the Kettle and Fire bone broth. So they have so many different options. They have chicken bone broth, they have beef bone broth. I think they even do a vegetarian bone broth too for, the non-meat eaters. They have all sorts of different flavors. They have like a Tom Cobb broth. They have a chicken mushroom soup broth, all sorts of different ones. So I just get the lemongrass pho broth. So that one's so good. And it comes in a box. It usually lasts me about 2 servings, so 2 cupfuls of it, and it's about $7 to $8. At least here in California. I don't know. Maybe in other states it's cheaper.
Oh yeah. If you guys are balling on a budget, hit us up in our DMs and we will give you our homemade bone broth recipe. When I have more time.
Oh, when there's more time, I will be a bone broth queen.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, what was the other question I had for you? Oh, oil pulling. What do you do during those 3 minutes? So if you guys don't know, when you oil pull,
you could make your bed.
Yeah.
You could make your bed. You could tidy
but
up.
Normally, like, what if someone's in your bed? Like, my food would be in my bed. I could
just
first
make it anyway. Just like, good morning. Time to get up.
Like, put the sheets over there.
Yeah, it's a good time to just tidy up, put things away that you didn't manage to put away before, and then before you know it, 3 minutes is up. Another thing
for anyone who doesn't know, I'm sure everyone already knows oil pulling, and you don't throw it in. I spit in the garbage.
Yeah, you can spit in the garbage.
Not the sink. I heard it's not good.
Yeah, you don't want to clog up the sink with oils. Yeah. If you're doing it every single day, I would spit it in the garbage. If you're doing it like once a week, I think you're okay. But our goal is to do it every single day. So oil pulling is basically you can put like a teaspoon of coconut oil into your mouth and it'll melt in there. And you can kind of swish it around and kills off bacteria and things in your mouth that have built up overnight. I'm gonna have to corroborate this with my dental husband.
It pulls, it even pulls out all the toxins from your body. It's a great way to like relieve if you have eczema or a lot of like ailments, like even keratosis pilaris, acne. It's helped with whitening teeth.
Acne I'd be careful with because it is a comedogenic, like it'll clog your pores. So some people's face, they can literally slather. Yes.
No, but like you don't put it on your face. You're putting it on your mouth.
Okay.
In your mouth.
Yeah, but I thought since you're taking it in the direction of like eczema and skin conditions, I just thought topical.
Oh, yeah, but that's actually what oil pulling helps with. Every internal affects external.
Really? Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. That's sick.
It has like a slew of benefits for us.
Okay, so it can, dope. Because I literally used to slather my face in coconut oil and then it would break me out.
Oh, that's a big no-no.
Yeah, no. And another thing
for us, for some other ladies, it's great. I would do
literally, some people can do it. I'm so jealous because they literally use that as like makeup remover, and I'm like, how can you
sludging?
I would love
slugging.
Sludge is the stuff that's in your gallbladder.
Well, that's what Vaseline looks like, honestly. Gross.
Yeah, I'm like, I get the benefits of that because people explain that, it seals in all of your skincare. But I'm like, how do you roll around on your pillow with all of that Vaseline on your face?
Can you put a towel down? Yeah. When I used to oil my hair without wrapping it, obviously I still oil my hair, guys, once a week at least. But I would put a towel down.
What do you wrap your hair with? Like cellophane or like a hair wrap?
Sometimes like a silk head wrap.
Okay.
And then sometimes if I'm in a crunch, I'll use a microfiber towel. Mm-hmm. You know, the one you shower with? That's it.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Oh, sorry. You have more updates.
Just a final thing on my menstrual diet is that I've been avoiding caffeine, which, is a little hard for me because I love my daily matcha, but I haven't had matcha like all week just to reduce the inflammation in my body, kind of keep my stress levels down. But for that follicular phase to come around the corner so I can start making my matcha again.
I respect your commitment.
Thank you. So you want to launch us into the luteal phase episode?
Yes! My face!
Your face!
This is me, guys. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to talk to you guys during a phase that I'm actually in.
Do you know what day exactly of your cycle you're on?
No, let's quickly check.
I'm on day 4.
Will you type it in while I go continue? So let's talk about the luteal phase. This is when your progesterone, thank you, is the main star. 10 to 14 days duration. And this would be considered the autumn or the fall season of your cycle. You guys could imagine that you're harvesting from summertime and now you're preparing for the winter time. So the mood that you guys are going to feel, like the main themes of this is passion, emotion, and fluctuation. And I'm thinking back in mine, and yes, that is exactly what it is. I've had so many passionate moments, and luckily, because I know this information, I did not act on any of them.
And you were able to channel it properly?
Of course, yes, and I always talk about transmuting emotions, and that's when you feel something and you work with it in yourself, you don't release your energy to outside circumstances.
Or let the emotion overcome you.
Yes, everything we have and need is all within us. Just work within that. And after really knowing these phases and sinking in with all of it, I operate in, just such a better way, even when I'm stressed. Jesus. So during this phase, you will maybe have higher emotions, maybe get triggered. It's just a good time to sit and be with it and save maybe talking about it in the phase that we just talked about in episode 9, which is your menstrual phase, or sorry, your ovulation phase. So this is the period too in your luteal phase where you guys are getting a second wind right after ovulation, but then your energy levels start declining, which is where I'm at now. Oh, did you find out what day I was?
Yeah, you're 24, day 24.
Cool. So
coming right up.
I'm ready for it. And I can feel it. I was telling Alina when we first saw each other today that I was just, and you can tell probably my energy that I'm feeling a little tired. I'm kind of like my neurons aren't really connecting fully. And that's, of course, from traveling, being in the end. Like sometimes you just have to do the best you can with what you have and just keep on going, right? With respect to the phase, I feel like I prepared ahead of time to use all my energy in this session. And even still I'm struggling, but
oh, you're doing amazing.
Thank you. And you're
for day 24.
Yes, just do your best with wherever you're at, even if you're sick, huh?
And if you think about it, like at the start of your cycle, you get like your energy tank is filled with fuel, right? And then you're using that really hardcore the first 2 weeks of your cycle. So of course, towards the end, you're not going to have a full tank. You're going to be on empty,
Super
right?
empty. And to top it off, I didn't really eat the right foods. And I did drink. Can I talk? Can I say that?
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, of course you can.
I did drink like just once with my girlie, with my best friend. But anyways, and that too, and as you guys, I don't know, well, whoever follows me on Instagram, you guys know that I cut alcohol out for the most part, like last month, and I have been actually feeling amazing. So that one time was even a lot for us.
I mean, the benefits always outweigh, you know, from cutting alcohol than from not cutting it.
Exactly. So you will be effective at completing necessary tasks during this phase. Which,
emphasis on necessary. You're not doing anything extra.
Literally, this was me this week. I'm doing exactly what I need to do, delegating what I cannot do, and understanding what time I'm in and what things are not urgent. Because sometimes we make ourselves think things are urgent, but in reality, it wasn't, right? So you have to really respect where you're at. But you will have the energy to complete necessary tasks. I hammered through. You know what it is? It's because I didn't have enough energy and I knew it. I could feel it in my body. So I had to prioritize. So I'd say during this phase, you are going to be great at prioritizing and checking things off the list.
Exactly.
And last is this passion is directed towards creative outlets. If it's not directed towards creative outlets, it can lead to emotional volatility. So if you're feeling all these passionate fluctuations, and if you're not putting that towards passion project, then can lead to reactive situations or that emotional volatility that everyone is always oh, she must be on her period. In reality, you're not on your period yet. You're leading up to it and you're just kind of running on empty at this point. This is truly when the PMS, and we'll get into the PMS symptoms, are occurring. It's always before your period. Do you want to lead us into your hormones?
Yeah, so at this time, the egg has been released from your ovary back in the ovulatory phase. And now, in place of that egg on the ovary, the little corpus luteum starts to form. And that's the little thing that's responsible for pumping progesterone to your body. So whereas the rest of your hormones are coming from the brain and from the ovaries, now it's coming from that specific little thing called the corpus luteum. And the progesterone, it helps maintain that uterine lining just in case the egg was fertilized in the ovulatory phase, in case it needs somewhere to implant for a successful pregnancy. Now, in the early phase of your luteal phase, luteal phase. So luteal phase is about 10 to 14 days. So in the first half of that, you're not going to really feel too tired because the progesterone isn't that high yet. However, once it continues to rise towards the end of your luteal phase, you're really going to start to notice that drop in mood, the lack of energy, that kind of lazy, lethargic, bloated feeling. And this surge of progesterone towards the end of the luteal phase can also increase the feelings that are really popular around PMS, like depression and irritability, insomnia, water retention, slower digestion, maybe even constipation, like your entire system is slowing down here. And the estrogen is also still rising. Now, if you're not pregnant, that corpus luteum gets reabsorbed back into the body and it signals the brain to start the period. Testosterone might increase, like you might get a little bit of a bump towards the end. So this can also attribute to the premenstrual acne that you can get. It can also be a time of destruction if you're quick to get frustrated or agitated. Again, this is a time if you're being reactive, you can really do some damage if you're not careful, if you're not in tune with your emotions or understanding where they're coming from. Your self-esteem is going to be a little lower, negative self-talk is higher. So you had a really confident follicular phase, ovulatory phase, you were feeling really good about yourself. Now you might not be feeling as good about yourself, and it's not your fault, it's your hormones. And when emotions take over, it can bring out the best or the worst in you. Be aware for yourself to manage your expectations. This is key here in the luteal phase, is managing expectations. You can avoid taking on too much and resenting yourself and others for it. Like you were talking about, Eva, prioritizing things that are necessary. Don't string yourself out on doing things that you don't need to do, because that's really going to add to your irritability.
Seriously.
And taking time between a stimulus and your reaction. It's never a bad idea. You'll thank us and yourself for giving some distance between when something happens and when you do something about it, because that can be a night and day difference in the result that you get. Do you want to talk about what's going on in the body at this time in the luteal phase? Since, you're literally feeling this right now.
I am in the body of that experience. Bloating. Right now I'm in final days, as we spoke about. So I'm feeling a lot heavier, very lethargic, foggy, bloated, and my stomach like super bloated. Actually, I've never been this bloated, and it's because I am just pushing things to the max, doing a lot. I'm probably not eating as good as I should be, right? But again, this is life. We just work through it, and I'm feeling the symptoms so much more. Other things that I've experienced are definite mood swings. Like in my emotions, I will be maybe sad one minute, happy the next. A lot of overthinking, but I think that's just more of where I'm at in my life. But those are it for me. For other symptoms that you guys would experience during this phase can be headaches. Oh, I am irritable. But anyways, headaches,
That one.
cravings. And you're also going to be tempted to skip your workouts. And I did skip 2 workouts. But moving and being active is going to flood your body with happy hormones to counteract the depressiveness of this time. Key, literally, I forced myself to move my body just to
get those endorphins flowing.
Exactly. And I'm thankful I did. I mean, now I've been it's like I've practiced for so many years developing good habits. So luckily they stack, and I am not stuck in a weird state for more than a few hours, but it doesn't mean that these feelings don't come. I just know how to move through them very fast. And then finally, you're exhausted. You're going to feel really exhausted towards the end of your cycle, which is definitely me today. We've had a break many times just for me to deep breathe and eat a snack. You're going to be a lot more easily drained physically and emotionally. So tracking is really helpful to take note of really where you're at, how you're most affected by this phase that you're in, and where you could retreat to lower your stress levels. Pre-period cramps and sensitive breasts are high this time, and you're also realizing you need more rest, which is all me, all the above. Check.
Yeah. And leading into the chakras that are most active at this time would be the throat chakra and the third eye chakra. So the throat chakra is literally in your throat, and it has everything to do with your personal will, your self-expression, and communication and outward expression too. So I would kind of say that this would also fit more into the ovulatory phase too, just because you're so expressive, and that is a good time to communicate and unblock your throat chakra, right?
Yeah, luckily they're so close to each other, so I feel like
honestly, maybe that's how it is. Towards the end of your ovulatory phase, the first start of your luteal phase, you're in the throat chakra, and then you move towards the third eye chakra, which is located kind of on your forehead. That's the energy center that deals with the mind, intuition, wisdom, clarity, and thinking, which is much needed in this phase. That clarity of thinking, we can get really mind boggled.
Absolutely. This is actually too where your like spirituality, your connection to like higher source would be as well.
Yeah, because you're leading into your menstrual phase where that crown chakra is going to be the most active, right? And we're more drawn to blue and indigo colors in this phase, blue being linked to the throat chakra. It's a good way to symbolize frustration and communication issues and to offset those. And indigo is just a protective spiritual color. Eva, do you want to take over and talk about the yin and yang portion of this cycle phase?
Yes, please. So you have your yang energy in the beginning. We spoke about that in the last episode. I want to focus more towards the end of the luteal phase where you will be in your yin energy. So this is the time, like the few days just before your period, you're going to feel a little bit more withdrawn and introverted, like I do today. In this episode, you'll probably hear some stumbles or anything, and that's the energy, right? So now is the time to really listen to your intuition. So that's the meditation, that's the journaling. Like you have to be very
intuitive, feely.
No, you have to be very like you have to do it and be on top of it, be proactive about scheduling that time for yourself. So
because other things can get in the way easily,
especially in your luteal phase, because you don't have enough energy and life isn't going to stop. You're going
and people don't know that you're in that phase, and they're going to expect things from you at the same level and rate we're doing,
and you're like, why is she struggling? Why is she this? And like, it's not like you can give them a presentation really quick, tell them to listen to this podcast,
right? Just redirect them here.
Literally. But yeah, exactly. I love what you're saying. But yeah, so even though you're in this energy, you just do the best you can and make sure that you're taking time to yourself, because that's how you're going to get through this phase the best way that you possibly can is by being intuitive. Sit in silence if you need to. Well, not if you actually need to, like sit in silence. And really during this time, you guys are also going to have spells of irritation flash over you, and just take a deep breath. I've been doing that multiple times a day this past week, and it helps so much. Really deep breath, like fill up your chest, take it from your belly all the way up to your chest. Let that inhale last 8 seconds. It might only be 5 seconds in the beginning, but work your way up. Go as deep as you can.
Create space in your body, because when you're like compressing your chest, like you can feel it when you're having shallow breathing and then your chest feels tight. So expand your body, create more space in your body by like getting that airflow in there, really like breathing in until you can't anymore, and then breathing out even longer than that.
Like emptying it completely. And the fun fact here is that this is what actually helps your nervous system get into a parasympathetic state, which is your rest and digestive state. And if you have shallow breathing, that tells your body that you are in the sympathetic nervous system and you're running away from tigers. You're like on high alert, and that means if nothing's functioning properly, your gut's not functioning properly. A lot of our sicknesses or diseases or anything come from simply not breathing correctly and just building up.
Totally.
So continuing, last thing, which we already touched on. Well, first, vigorous exercise.
Not your friend during this time.
Exactly. Like, this is a big no-no, and I see all of us women do it. We did it just like a year ago, right? We weren't in sync with this, so we would work out. Like I would go to the gym and maybe do a HIIT workout or something excessive, and always I felt drained, or like, when you're running and you just wonder, like, I did my best time yesterday, and then all of a sudden the next day it's like a worse time. Sometimes it's because you're just not in the right phase. So really listen to your body here. Do not do these types of heavy exercises. Really just stretch.
Don't press the gas when you're running on empty. Period.
Your body will respond better. Oh, I love that. Yeah, cool. And now the last thing is journal your thoughts and your feelings. Look after yourself. Get that massage you've been meaning to book for months. Really fill up your tank. Yeah, and I'm wrapping up with that.
Yeah.
And
Going into your concentration, again, you're gonna be feeling a little lower energy. Of course, that post-ovulatory second wind that you get right after ovulation, where you can't really tell that you're in your luteal phase yet, just because nature is so beautiful and the transitions are so smooth. Seamless. So that second wind, it gives you the opportunity to step up and complete any hanging tasks from your follicular or ovulatory phases. You need to also manage yourself a little more. Like you were talking about, you have a little more exhaustion, so you really need to pick and choose what gets your energy and your focus and attention in this phase. So, short spurts of concentration versus long marathon projects are going to be better for work in this phase. You can schedule kind of short sprints of work with rejuvenating breaks in between them.
I literally did this too, like 15-minute breaks. And I got this tip from AJ. Shout out the person who made our jingle.
AJ makes the music that you guys hear in every single episode. We love you, AJ. Thank you so much.
So much. Thank you. So he gave me that tip to work for 15 minutes and then take a quick break, make coffee, something. And that's what I did over my luteal phase. And it worked swimming. Yeah. I got so much work done.
Yeah, it sustains your energy to work for a longer time than if you were to try to do it all in 6 hours and burn out completely.
It was really great too because I would work for even to 30 minutes, right? And then I would hang out with the kids. Like, even naturally, a kid would just come up to me and be like, hey, like, let's play this. Okay. It was so nice. The only time's the best. Anyways, continue.
It really is. So the closer that you're getting to your period, the progesterone and estrogen, they're peaking, but then they're going to drop off. So that's going to change your mood and your concentration abilities. So this is a time to work on creative outlets that don't call for a lot of like perfectionism or something super structured. So you want to be more inclined towards meditative art forms that can help you channel your feelings. So things like music, painting, drawing, writing. This is really the phase to give a little more attention to those types of hobbies if you have them. Take advantage of this passionate time as it comes to creation. And what are your plans? We're basically talking about this as the whole entire episode, but what are your plans looking like during the luteal phase? I know you went to LA and you had a little bit more moving around, but if you had your ideal luteal, how would it look?
I mean, even this would be my ideal luteal just because it's like family, like these are family friends, right? It's like, it just hits different when you're with, I think anyone would want to spend any of their phases sometimes around their family, especially when you don't live around those people.
Yeah.
Like, I know you can relate. Yeah. Nothing feels better. So, yeah, but even during this time, right, comfort was key. And luckily, I actually was in the place that I'm the most comfortable being with. For me, people are what feel like home, right? So, yeah, comfort was top notch. Also, where I was at was so beautiful. But I was hyper aware, and that's something that you'll want your plans to be focused around, like having awareness and attention to what's around you, and just having comfort during this time. So that was something I was focused on, and like luckily, even if I needed something, my girlfriend would always like, hey, can I get you this? She made me breakfast. I was really comfortable. Your energy softens and you turn inwards a lot at this time. And that definitely was where I was at, right? Which is why naturally journaling was so important to me at this time. And especially being with my loved ones, I was able to talk with them about my inner thoughts, and they know me so well. So we were able to have that interaction, which is such a blessing. You're going to have a desire to nest, which I did feel. Of course, naturally, I was like organizing the house. I almost wanted to take down shelves and like make a home for like cups. I was just doing the most. And I was like, no, I don't have energy for this. My girlfriend Marisol even looked at me and she's like, no, Eva, I think that looks like a lot of energy. I don't think you should do that. You're a good point. So there's that. You will have a completion of tasks, which we did talk about. I've tackled a to-do list. I went on this trip with things specifically. Anytime I travel, I do this. I have a list of things, errands, phone calls.
Using that time wisely.
Yes, scheduling appointments, whatever. That's when I get all that done. So huge check mark on my luteal phase for completing tasks. And
you just don't want to like have to do any of that when you're on your period, you know, be running around, checking things off, completing anything important. So yeah,
no,
key to take advantage of this. And why is that? Why is this a really good time to notice the things that need to get done?
Because the perfect ratio of estrogen to progesterone makes you notice what you didn't before.
Wow.
The perfect cocktail of awareness.
So while like a corner of clutter might not have been bothering you your entire cycle, now you're coming into your luteal phase and you're like, that needs to go.
Oh my God, let me tell you, as soon as I got to my I'm not even joking. As soon as I got to my house, dropped my bag. I went into my room, opened up my drawers, and I started like taking out a ton of clothes. And I was like, these have to go. By the way, I love all these clothes, but I'm like, no, I'm making room for the new. Like, I was just disgusted.
So
it was
funny
funny to see Matt come through the door, thinks I'm packing again. Fun stuff.
Girls on the move.
So, anyways, you're going to nest on an internal level.
Going back to that self-care, as always.
So, of course, I did a lot of that. I actually was using, like, the bombest skincare this week. Like, it's this brand from Korea. It's called Rimyon. Okay. Literally, I look like a glazed donut. I've never been happier about my face. I didn't know such good products could exist.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you to try them. And they, like, work? Of course, yeah, I ordered them, like, and the science, I was floored. And, you know, I get geeked out on, like, vitamins and things like that. But I buy bougie skincare. Like, I've never just felt this way. Anyways, I ordered them, so you'll try them. Okay.
Moving into diet. This is my favorite time of the month to eat because it's all my favorite foods. I've really curated my favorite meals ever. I know that I have to try new things, but I really don't want to at this time. So you're really focusing on eating grounding, energy-sustaining foods, things that are going to curb any cravings that you have towards sugar or unhealthy processed foods. So root vegetables. Again, we're thinking harvest foods, parsnip, radish, potato, pumpkin, squash. Think of things that are close to the ground because that's signifying, you know, the need to come closer to grounding ourselves and sinking down back to that yin underground energy.
Nice.
Yeah. So foods that are rich in B vitamins, calcium, magnesium, and fiber, they're really going to help your body out in this phase because magnesium, it'll calm you down. B vitamins will replenish any lost energy stores. Calcium is always great. And fiber, again, is going to start moving all that estrogen, excess estrogen out of your body. Some good examples of these foods are things like brown rice, chickpeas, hummus, apples and pears, dates. Things that stave off sugar cravings are going to be rich in B vitamins, and they also help with progesterone production. So, again, things like dates, leafy greens that are going to help you deal with water retention. So, like you said, one of the big PMS symptoms that afflict so many of us girls and women is the bloating and the discomfort that comes with all the water retention in your cells. So, when you're eating leafy greens like collard greens, mustard greens, kale, even, that's really going to help balance that water in your body.
Oh, that's why I'm so bloated.
You haven't been eating a lot of greens.
I mean, definitely salads. I mean, eggs every morning with on arugula and a bed of lettuce, but not in comparison. It didn't help with like all the meat that I ate. And I went to Korean barbecue and like Javier's and ate meat there and Mexican.
Yeah. So like fiber is our next point, going back to elimination. That's going to help you flush out all the extra estrogen in your body during this time since you've been making it your entire cycle, right? Up until this point. So crunchy foods, things like celery, cabbage, cauliflower. So where we were a little more carb and protein focused in the earlier phases because of the need for energy and everything, now we're thinking more veggies, more crunchy, fresh, things like that are going to help carry and eliminate everything out of your body. Roasted or baked veggies are also really going to help you with sugar cravings. I love me a pan roast, like mixing a bunch of things, you know, chopping it up.
So fast.
Balsamic and olive oil, it's the best. And you're also going to want to go for complex carbohydrates, things that pack a little bit more energy into the carbs. So things like brown rice, sweet potatoes. And these are also going to help increase your dopamine and serotonin, your feel-good hormones to help you feel good. So you're not always crashing and,
Guys, diet is everything.
it
I didn't
really
eat
is a
any of this.
blood.
I have felt better in my luteal phase in other months.
Mhm.
Everything. I should have ate a sweet potato.
A sweet potato will fix so much. And also things like dark chocolate, peppermint, spirulina, they're all going to help with how you're feeling at this phase.
I have that vitamin too, and I didn't take it.
Your chlorella
Next
tablets.
month.
We get a new try every single cycle.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it.
Life.
It's great. And then there's going to be some proteins that you can eat to help you get prepared for all the blood loss. So some grass-fed beef, wild-caught tuna, navy beans, and like halibut and flounder if you're into those. So what about our workouts during this phase, Eva?
Well, any form of exercise is going to be beneficial at this stage because of the effect it will have on PMS and your stress levels. So the first part of the luteal phase, you may have enough energy to continue your regular workouts. If you do higher intensity, allow more time for rest, as there will be more inflammation in your body and due to your dropping hormones, and meaning your ability to recover quickly is reduced during the stage.
So the best recovery that you were getting after your workouts was in the first half of your cycle. So now you're wanting to allow for more time, more rest, if you are still pushing yourself.
Totally. And your progesterone also increases core body temperature, which affects your recovery.
I'm learning that with my Aura ring because I'll wake up sometimes thinking I got a good score and then it's like recovery, and then it always says something about body temperature. So sometimes when I sleep with my heat pack, because it gets me so cozy right when I'm falling asleep, but then I'll notice that I'm tossing and turning much more during the night when I have that heat pack. Cooling down while you're sleeping is so vital.
65 degrees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Research suggests arm curls are more effective during this phase. You might focus more on upper body, which is so interesting that, because I believe naturally we fall into the phases by default if we're kind of aligned and listening. So yeah, I was really focused on my arm workouts this week. Strangely, I was like in the bathroom just doing like my YouTube arm toning workout.
Wow, that's just what you felt naturally inclined to. There's a reason for that. Cool.
And the other things are you want to scale down the last 5 days before your period. So you want to move into walking, Pilates, Vinyasa yoga, even Yin yoga is great too, just to get a good stretch in, deep breaths, and relax your nervous system. Lower resistant exercises like the elliptical if you're feeling sluggish and you want that extra help. And towards the end of the luteal phase, when progesterone is highest, muscle breakdown increases. So prioritize your protein.
Yeah, within that 30-minute training window, you got to get it in on time, right? I really struggle with that. I'll like go work out and then I'll go do other things. And then before I know it's like an hour and a half since I worked out and I haven't gotten any protein. So that's definitely something for me. And oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Another thing is that our bodies are energy generators. So while you might think that, like if you're feeling tired, that resting and not moving is going to get you more energy, it's actually the other way around. You're going to get more energy by moving your body and generating that energy within your body, right?
Totally. Do you want to move into your skin?
Yeah. During this luteal phase, you might be dealing with a little more skin problems, and that's because the climbing progesterone increases the secretions of sebum or oil in the skin, and that coupled with the body temperature increase gives us what? Breakouts! Yay! We love that. So during this luteal phase, you want to keep your skincare simple. Use products with the most active ingredients rather than ones packed with tons of overwhelming ingredients. So just pick the things that's really the most potent that will do the job. Tea tree oil can be helpful to dilute it in maybe a face cream or something. Just dab it onto your skin to really control that oil production. And using pure products that won't aggravate the skin. We're always harping on this, using clean products without endocrine disruptors. And my friend Carolina is currently in the process of bringing out her skincare line. She sent me some things that I've tried out, and it's really nice, like non-aggravating, very soothing. So we'll be on the lookout to see her release.
No, we love skincare goodies.
Always.
Yeah.
And we love to see our friends starting brands and companies too. It's always really exciting.
Of course. Gosh, I'm so hyper-focused on skin. I love skincare.
They really got us good with that industry.
So moving into relationships.
Yeah, how are you feeling around relationships around this time, the luteal phase?
Yeah, well, I definitely noticed that I'm a little bit more fiery, kind of passionate, I think you'd say, and I do notice a fuller bosom.
Bosom, tatas, whatever.
Brassiere?
Yeah, those are all the appropriate words.
And other things too are you're going to have a more direct and commanding sensuality, and that is definitely my energy. Very much this is what I want, but it's also very sensual and soft. Like I can't explain it better than that. I mean, it's just a feeling, and it's that. And later in the luteal phase, when your progesterone is higher, sexual arousal is lower, and yes, zero turn-ons, all turn-offs. Icks. I'm an ick.
Ick mode.
Ick week. Everything's ick. Yeah, like it's almost like I'm like looking to be turned off. I'm like, oh.
And your body is corroborating that because it's like you're a little bit drier down there too. It's just like not the time.
It's not the time. It's in preparation mode for the big bleed.
That and also prioritizing, right? If it's not necessary, you're not gonna do it.
It's like, don't disrupt the egg that could be here. Anyways, 5 to 6 days prior to period. 5 to 6 days prior to your period is lowest for sexual interest. Then it peaks 2 to 3 days before your period, which is very true.
So
I don't think like this period, like I don't think I'm going to have a peak on that. I'm like I have way too much going on, so I'm just gonna go straight to the lead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say it's interesting how 5 to 6 days you're just like no, and literally the lowest. It's been studied. It's the lowest sexual drive 5 to 6 days before period, but then it peaks again like 2 to 3 days. It's like gotta get it in right, before all this starts over again.
And
I think
usually
that's so
is yes, like I am that
Normally,
person.
yeah.
That's how I know my period is coming because it's that big difference. So your hormones are dancing around at this phase, so you can be pretty unpredictable. You can be both attractive and a little scary.
I could see that. Because you're like, no, not this way. I don't want it.
The demanding sensualness.
Yeah.
So would you say that this would be a good time to have a deep conversation with your partner?
No, or not an important conversation either. Just because you're all over the place, one day you might be feeling one way, the other day you might be feeling a different way. So save those important conversations for the other phases.
I can not wait for the other episodes when we have relationship series and that episode for the boyfriends, the husbands, the sons to know what to do with the
women in their lives.
The ones that they love.
Totally.
And what about your sleep?
So this is not my favorite topic because heading into the second half of your cycle in your luteal phase, your sleep is starting to get a little more affected. Again, you're having a little more inflammation in your body, your hormones are dancing, dropping, and 33% of women would say that their menstrual cycle affects their sleep or that their sleep is affected by their menstrual cycle. It's like could go either way. So the trouble sleeping could be due to the hot flushes of the dropping estrogen and progesterone right before your period. I know for me, it can be really hard to sleep and I'm often tossing and turning, waking up multiple times throughout the night if my body temperature isn't right. Sleep exhaustion coupled with a serotonin drop in your natural hormone system can lead to those sugar cravings that are so popular in the PMS phase. So we're often reaching for the sugar-rich or processed foods just to kind of satiate that craving and get us a little bit of comfort. But we want to change that direction and opt for dark chocolate instead. Like the magnesium in that will be really good for your rest. So picking things that will address that hungry feeling that you have, but will also sustain it and be a healthier option in the end.
If you guys aren't already taking magnesium, it's honestly crucial. A lot of people, pretty much almost everyone is magnesium deficient. So at least taking it daily, particularly before bed, really helps with sleep, like you said.
Yeah.
I just want to encourage people to take that vitamin.
Yeah, I've seen some people successfully take it in place of an antidepressant just because it helped stabilize them, their sleep, their rest, and recovery. And also during this luteal phase, while you're getting a little less restful sleep, is also because your REM sleep decreases too. You're not getting that deep restorative sleep as much. And you're also dreaming more and getting more vivid and colorful dreams.
Yes to both. That's why I'm tired. I am dreaming.
You're active on the astral plane.
Dreams. Yeah, love it. Yeah, that's why I'm tired in real life.
So to conclude this episode about the luteal phase, obviously it's famously noted for its PMS symptoms, but it can also have us, or
emotionally volatile.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say?
Well, you're the one in the luteal phase.
I'm joking.
Give us the list. What have you been feeling?
Yeah, emotional volatile is one, but again, we are queens here, so we now know how to manage our emotions and keep the volatility inside and transmute it to a manifestation. But anyways, you will be indecisive. Yes, yes, yes. Oh me, oh my gosh. Unwilling to face the truth of a situation that isn't serving us. I mean, maybe old me. Mood swinging, absolutely. Intolerant, teary-eyed.
I'll tear up at anything. I'll hear a song during my luteal phase and I'm like thinking about my family and like it's over.
The commercial will get me.
Yeah,
I'm a big crier. You are too. I love
Xenia
that.
posted this like Gary's birthday, Gary the pod dog. It was his birthday this last week, so she posted Instagram stories of him, and I was crying watching those Instagram stories because we all love this dog so much.
Oh, see.
Yeah, that really got me.
Me too. We're both just over here crying. You will also have a loss for physical stamina, also me, impatient, and expecting others to know and understand how you feel.
Yeah, and that goes back to like managing the expectations. You got to voice your expectations, your needs during this phase, your needs for alone time, just so that you minimize and mitigate that frustration that comes from other people not knowing what you need during the time. But again, the luteal phase also blesses us with a passionate creativity, a creative flow. So if we can figure out how to harness those emotions and those fluctuations that we're feeling into a passion project or something creative, then that energy won't be so destructive. Manifestation of goals and dreams. Again, this is harvest. It's autumn. You're going to get to see the things that you've been working on come to fruition. You're connecting a little more with your heart.
Yes.
Again, that estrogen and progesterone ratio has us recognizing certain synchronicities that we didn't see before. You're getting to have critical analysis and identification of problems. This is going to help you also in your reflective, analytical menstrual phase coming up. An intuitive understanding of complex theories. This is why it's a really good time to take some time alone and sit down and read. Learn something new, apply it to your life. Also, the luteal phase brings with it a surfacing of emotional baggage so that you can deal with it. Sometimes we just react to it emotionally and we can get tossed around in the turbulence, but the reason that this luteal phase is so emotional is because it brings things to the surface that need attention. It brings out your triggers, which is really just unmet needs, right? And the nesting and tidying and making space for a new order always feels really good to clear out clutter and really get organized. We also have awareness of our cyclical positioning at this time. We're really noticing that, like, okay, I am part of a cycle. True. This happens every single month to me. And just to wrap that up with, again, this phase is also primed for magic making. Every single phase that we go through, whether it's menstrual, follicular, ovulatory, and now the luteal, there's some space for magic and there's some space for creation, creativity, something that you can form every single cycle that you go through.
I love the benefits so much more.
Yeah.
It's okay, we get both.
We get all of them.
Yeah, so in the same style as our other phasic episodes, we want to inspire you to put more luteal practices into your life by...
What are some examples?
Being aware of when you get emotionally rocked and at which times. Journaling, tracking, writing it down in your phone. Really channeling your emotions into a creative project like our podcast.
if you sing, use that passion to write some music, put your music out to the world. If you draw, work your emotions out through art. That always helps me to put something to paper or canvas. Cooking is such a great emotional outlet. Just working with some food, creating a new recipe that's been on your brain, or simply making a loving meal for yourself that just feels good put together and to eat.
Those are all great creative ways. And really watch the type of results you get when you alchemize your emotions and use them to pour into yourself and your new hobbies.
And create.
Yeah. So this is all really exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So your call to action is to do this. And we'd love to see how you implemented this into your life. Yeah. Post it on Instagram, maybe in a story, tag us. We'd love to see it and share it. I think it'd be cool to share like all the ladies, like what we're all up to, so we can start to see.
We really want to see what works for you in your luteal phase, what sort of activities you guys gravitate towards, what sort of passion projects come out of your luteal phase. I want to see art, I want to see meals, I want to hear songs from
chills, like
people.
Recipes,
So
music, give it to me.
Yeah, let's get this creative machine going. And we will talk to you guys on the next episode. Our next little mini series that we're doing is all about food. So taking a lot deeper look into the food for each phase, different recipes, different ideas. There's so many directions we can take this with, and we're really excited to get you an intro to hormonal eating.
We're going to dive into nutrition. About it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you next episode. Bye. This show is intended for inspiration and entertainment and is not meant to replace your physician's medical advice.
Music by Moon Blue.
Editing by Alina Salza.